I have the pleasure of introducing to you our closing keynote for this conference. Her name is Lisa Copeland. Hopefully you've seen her a couple times already. Maybe you even got an opportunity to speak with her. If you have, then you already know how incredible this woman is. Her official title, if you didn't know, is CCO of Cars Her Way. CCO? Yeah, she's the Chief Change Officer. She has over 25 years of automotive awesomeness behind her. She used to own a dealership, an award-winning dealership, by the way. And after I had gotten the opportunity to introduce her a couple of times at WIA, well, she got this crazy idea. You know what? I think it's time for a change. I'm going to sell my award-winning dealership, and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go out into the automotive industry, and I'm going to be an advocate for change and for the betterment of women in the automotive industry. And boy, oh boy, are we glad about that. By the way, just in case you didn't know, she was also named one of the top 100 females in the automotive industry. Now, since doing that, she also, she writes a few books. She co-authored a bestseller called Crushing Mediocrity, 10 Ways to Rise Above the Status Quo, available on Amazon. And she has a third book coming out this December. It's called The Art of the Big Sell. She has been on the WIA stage 4 times previous. As a matter of fact, after the first WIA, I saw her speak literally as she got off the stage. I'm like, I'm Eliana, and we're going to be friends. And you know what? We have been ever since. So now is my 5th time introducing her to the Women in Automotive audience. She has been here before telling us how to be an unapologetic rock star. She has also told us how to crush mediocrity. She has even told us, you don't have to be fearless, but you should at least fear less. She is the definition of fearless and fabulous. And it is my great honor to introduce my friend and WIA board member, the one and only Lisa Copeland.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Am I on? Has anybody noticed this one right here? She's down about 22 pounds. And I told her if she loses 1 more pound before Women in Automotive, we're not friends anymore. Yeah. Anyways, how's everyone doing today? Thank you for hanging in. The closing keynote, the ladies are getting paid, and we're going to talk about it, girls. Don't you worry about it. The closing keynote's a tough gig because you're the last one on stage, and people have flights to catch, so thank you very much for hanging in. Well, I absolutely believe that the future of automotive is female, and that's why I'm here today. But it's not just automotive. It's real estate. It's retail. It's insurance, it's financial services. Ladies, we have finally started to take our seat at the table. And one of the reasons that I wrote the book, The Art of the Big Sell, is because I fundamentally believe that if you want anything to happen in this country, the best way women know how to do it is to galvanize other women. We start a movement. It started back probably in 1919, when we all came together and we said, we're not going to be chattel anymore. What do you mean we can't vote? Seriously? And what did women do? They started a movement. Fast forward to the year 2018. Inequality. We've had it. We're not going to take it anymore. So what did we do? We started a movement. What about these kids? They're tired of not feeling safe in school. Their legislators aren't getting it done. Their government's not getting it done. So what did they do? They started a movement. I marched in that movement in Austin, Texas. I got hate mail. And I said, I'm standing with the kids. Because as a mentor and as an American, this is their fundamental right. Because you see, if you don't listen to people, if you don't acknowledge their concerns, especially this next generation, that's when you have rioting in the streets. So as a responsible, gun-owning Texan, I was down there marching with them. And the ones that didn't have the guts to face me, they were sending my husband texts. Can you not control that wife of yours? What do you mean she's down there marching? Oh, yeah. Oh, I marched even harder. And I stood with those kids, and I Facebook Lived it, and I lost a few friends. How many people lost friends during this last election cycle? Oh, yeah. I mean, seriously, it doesn't even matter which way. But when we talk about a movement, let me tell you, presidential elections, I think the first movement that we saw was hope with President Obama. He started a movement. People at that point in time, they wanted hope. So he made it to the White House. President Trump, love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. He started a movement, Make America Great Again. I believe that a lot of times that a lot of people voted for the movement over the man. But that's what inspires people nowadays. So, I'm going to leave you today with, I want you to leave this conference. You heard amazing speakers like my friend, Kendrick Shope. I talked her into flying here from Arkansas. It took her 2 days to get here because of the weather. Because I knew you can't be anything. You cannot be successful if you can't sell. Because if you can't sell it, you can't have it. And I'm not just talking about your product. I'm talking about your idea. I'm talking about your movement. I'm talking about talking to your boss. If you can't sell it, you can't have it. And I also believe that you can sell your way out of anything. Jim Ziegler said that on my show, Alpha Dog. I'm not sure if he's here or not right now. But he said that on my show. So no matter what situation you get into, if you can sell it, you can get out of it. So we are going to talk about, and I'm going to leave you with, that I want you to leave this conference. And I love the word unapologetically. Unapologetically fierce. 365 days a year. You see, we cannot be fierce Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Not going to happen. You're not going to get what you want. We live in a tough world, okay? We work in a tough business. But every one of you that showed up today, you showed up at the table. Every one of you are sitting at the table right now, whether you recognize it or not. You're here. And so if nothing else, so we're going to go through what it is to be unapologetically fierce 365 days a year. So I was in New York at a Women in Automotive event, and my agent called me and he said, hey, Mornings with Maria, Fox News wants you to come and talk about the New York Auto Show. I'm like, great, I will be there. So I get there and we get to the green room and they're like, and Tesla back there, Elon had just broke some news, something had happened. And so my agent literally meets me there and we're walking into the green room and he goes, you need to comment on Tesla because I think that the stock was going down that day. They were having some problems. And I said on Fox News, Tesla back there, that Elon's going to be okay. Because you know why? He's built a movement. People will root for Elon Musk. And you guys hear me talk about rooting for each other. But he has built a movement. He is the anti-car manufacturer. Car manufacturers don't like him at all. But the customers do. And who's the one writing the checks? It's the customers. So, but what I loved was I would have paid $1 million for this picture. And it's on everything now. Fox News says, Mornings with Maria, this is Fox National, girl power in the automotive industry. So even Fox News gets it, okay? This was just 2 months ago in New York City. Fox News says girl power in the automotive industry. The movement has started, but we can't do it alone. You see, everybody in this room, you guys have to come back. And you have to come back, and then you've got to bring your friends and your colleagues, and you've got to talk about this and tweet about it. Because a movement isn't just 200 or 300 people. It's 20 or 30 or 50,000 people. And what I love, my other dear friend Justin Bird, I know you guys loved him so much. What he didn't tell you is he and I launched the Fiat brand together 7 years ago. He was the boss. Who dis? The boss, Justin Bird. And there were days that JB and I felt like we were on an island by ourselves. Because nobody was listening to us. Not the other dealers. They hated us. They were mad that they signed that contract. The industry was laughing at us. We were the biggest jokes in the world. But at the end of the day, we still had cars to sell. So, who are those people that you're going to bring into your life? That are going to stand with you no matter what? That when you call them and they live in Arkansas, Kendrick, I want you to come pour into these amazing women and men. Justin, I want you to come because I know that you're somebody who stands with women. You have since the day that you and I talk about crying. I have cried with that man on the telephone before because both of us said, what have we gotten into with this Fiat thing? So anyways, tears and me and Justin Bird are nothing new. But it was nothing about our children. It was about our jobs. Anyways, all of that being said, you know, we have come together to build this movement, and this movement is called Women in Automotive. But we're going to have to commit to be unapologetically fierce 365 days a year because they're all coming at us, y'all. They are all coming at us. Just like when I decided that I was going to stand with those young people in Austin, Texas, and I was going to march, and yes, I own 14 guns, but I can't own a gun because I've never been caught, so I am a law-abiding citizen, right? So, all of that being said, I know this is all out on Facebook Live. I swear, Mom, I'm good. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Anyways, but see, I get to do that. But every one of us have to be willing to take that stand. We have to be willing to say what other people are not willing to say. We have to be willing to stand up when all of your friends are calling your husband saying, has she lost her mind that she's down there with all those liberals down there marching in Austin, Texas? And my husband's like, yeah, I am not saying that to my wife. Why don't you go ahead and call her big boy, right? Yeah, anyone who knows me knows that's not going to happen. So, Sam Walton says, high expectations are the key to everything. What are your expectations to leaving this conference? What are you going to do with all of the people that you heard, all of the people that took their time? Nobody got paid to come here, all of the speakers. They came here because of an ask of one of the board members. They came here because they have joined the movement, right? So this was one that I did 2.5, 3 years ago, which was to be unapologetically fearless. And it's time for us to be bold, act with urgency, and embrace risks with the potential to produce exponential results. That was kind of my battle cry 2 or 3 years ago. Man, you can stick that one on the shelf. It isn't big enough. We have bigger problems and bigger things to talk about in today's world. Okay, so the F in fierce is to fear less. It's not to be fearless. You guys have heard me say this for years. But I want to tell you something about fear, that danger is real and fear is a choice. 94%, according to Psychology Today, 94% of what we fear never materializes. It doesn't happen. It's all up here in our head churning around, and don't think it doesn't churn around in my head too. But what I have learned how to do is to stick that fear on the shelf and power through. See, there's not a human in the world that can tell me that I'm not going to go down and march and stand with these young Americans. There's not anybody out there that is going to silence me from what I believe has to happen for the next generation, for both young people and for women. Okay, what did I just do here? All right. The I in fierce is you've got to take the initiative. You see, if we don't take the initiative, nothing will happen. If Christy Roman, Jody DeVere, Kathy Gilbert, Subi Ghosh, and Joni Stuker did not make the decision 4 or 5 years ago to start the Women in Automotive Conference, we wouldn't all be here. I wouldn't have some of the best friends that I have in the world because I met through this conference. But somebody had to take the initiative. What is the initiative that you can take, either in your job or in your life, that will change your life forever? Number 3, the E in fierce is you've got to engage. See, building a movement, changing the world, changing the ratio, changing the status quo, crushing mediocrity. I don't care what my battle cry is on any given day. It's something. I get paid to do that nowadays. But you have to engage. If you don't engage 100%, nothing's going to change. Now, everybody in this room, you should congratulate yourself. You've engaged. You all came here. You showed up. Tough travel conditions. You might have spent money that you didn't have to get there, to get here. How many, I guess I shouldn't have a show of hands. I know a lot of you because I've talked to you. Your bosses didn't pay for you to get here. You took vacation time. It's the end of the month. It was tough. You made the sacrifice. You're officially sitting at the table. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. Don't ever. But do something with it. Engage. You met people over the last 2 or 3 days. Engage with them. Take advantage of it. I also had the opportunity to eat dinner last night with the Ladies Get Paid. Bloggers back there, fantastic women. And it was Kendrick, myself, and Lish. And we were all sitting there, we were having dinner. And I told them, Scotty Reese said something, and I told them the story about George Clooney. And those of you who know me know it. But after my team broke the world sales record, I wanted to meet the chairman of Chrysler, Mr. Marchione. Fiat Chrysler tried to throw me off track, and they said, I'll tell you what, Lisa, because they hadn't told Serge yet. I'll tell you what, Lisa, we're going to set up dinner for you with George Clooney in Italy, and because they hadn't told Sergio yet. And I'm like, oh, no. First of all, that isn't going to work at my house. Hey, babe, I'm going to go to dinner with George Clooney tonight in Italy. Yay me. No. But at the end of the day, Who is that person that will change your life? See, I put my team through extraordinary measures. I can't even tell you, like, they hated me for the 60 days, so that we could break the world sales record, so that we could meet the man that I knew would change our lives, the chairman of the board of the Chrysler Corporation at the time. And when he walked in and when he met us, he and I had a private meeting first, and he literally said to me, "You chose me over George Clooney?" "Yes, Sergio, you can change my life. I go to dinner with George Clooney in Italy. I'm divorced. That'll also change my life," right? So anyways, you've got to engage, though. You've got to decide what it is you want to do and what you're willing to do to get there. And let me tell you something, ladies, and the guys that get it in this audience, it's not easy. Anything that's worth having, breaking a world sales record, meeting the chairman of the board, getting the big job, the big promotion, buying it doesn't matter. It's not easy. You got to work day and night. You've got to be fierce 365 days a year. And I'm going to tell you, unapologetically fierce. Because you can't apologize for your passion. You can't apologize that you're going to go start a movement. And I'm damn sure not going to apologize to all my friends in Austin, Texas, because I decided to go and march with the future generation of America. Because it's our responsibility to help guide them and shepherd them so that they're not out rioting in the streets. I had some really great conversations with some of those young people. We have to listen to people sometimes. We have to support people. We have to support each other. And see, I'm not always going to agree with you, and you're not always going to agree with me. But I think it's my job as a leader and somebody who's helped start this movement of women in automotive to hear you out. I might learn something, or I might be able to engage you or redirect you. That's our job. Join the movement. You've got to engage. The R in fierce is you've got to be relentless. You see, quitting's for sissies. Quitting is for sissies. There's nothing easy about revolution. There's nothing easy about building a movement. There's nothing easy about success. You've got to be relentless. And I love this picture. First of all, The Rock, come on, hot guy ever. And then Ronda Rousey. What about her? She's amazing, right? You've got to be relentless. The C in fierce, and this is so hard to do, is that you've got to crush approval addiction. How many times for people like myself and for Kendrick, we are professional speakers and we're out there and we're doing things. Not everyone's going to like you. It's okay. You can't worry about it as long as you know that you're living your truth, that you're doing what you know you're supposed to do every single day, and that it's not sleazy, slimy, whatever it is for authentic selling. Yeah, that's it. As long as it's not that. You can't worry. I can't worry about those of you out there that don't like me. I hope you all like me because that's really what I want to my very soul. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so the more you're out there, the more that you push your movement, the more that you believe that what you're doing is going to change the world, but it might just change your world. And that's okay. The haters are going to hate. And you saw that Fox News picture. I will tell you, don't ever go on a national television show, right, Kendrick, and read the, what do we call them, trollers? Oh, all the haters out there. Oh, look at her hair, look at this, look at that. I got to about the third one, I'm like, okay, you suck, I'm turning this off, right? I'm not gonna read any more of this. But that is our need for wanting approval, and women, it's even tougher. But for you to sit at the table, for you to be fierce, to 365 days a year, you only need to care about what your people think about you, your tribe, your people, your family, your inner circle. Because haters are going to hate. And the bigger you get and the bigger you build your movement or you build your business or you build your career, the haters, boy, they're at the bottom all the time. They're trolling. There's a reason that they're trollers, though. They don't have the heart and the passion to do what you do, and they're not willing to pay the price. So it's really easy to sit in the cheap seats and criticize success. But you see, I really believe that success leaves clues. It absolutely leaves clues. And the most successful people I know, they don't sit in the cheap seats and they don't criticize other people. They build up other people. They celebrate their friends and their colleagues' success. They root for their friends and for their colleagues. See, those are the people that are truly fierce 365 days. And then you have to execute. You see, you can have the greatest movement, you can have the greatest idea, you can sell like anything, but so many people, they stop 3 feet from gold. You guys heard my dear friend Sharon Lechter speak at the last Women in Automotive when she talks about her books. And one of her books is 3 feet from gold. Most people get all the way there and then they stop. And what I've learned about stopping is that 97% of the other people stop too. If you're the 3% that push through to the end, there's no competition at the finish line. 0. You've got to execute. You've got to push through. You know, strategy eats mediocrity and everything else for breakfast. You've got to have strategy. You've got to have execution. You've got to implement. You've got to push through, and you've got to execute, if I don't say it enough. So, I've got a free ebook for you guys, and it's called 10 Ways to Dominate Your Competition. So the way that you can get it is that you just type in 345345, type in the word big sell, one word, and we talk about in the book 10 ways to dominate your competition. Now, I'm a firm believer that in my mind, the only competition I have is myself. I compete with myself to get better every single day. I don't compete against Kendrick, and she and I play heavily in the same space. I invited her here because I wanted you guys to hear different perspectives from different, very successful people. She's not my competition, she's my friend. She's not my competition, she's my colleague. But she and I have the same customers spending the same money. Isn't it better to align yourself, to build a movement, to create collaboration so that together all of us can win? All right, with that, I'm going to wrap up. I want to wish everybody safe travels. I hope I see you again out in Los Angeles in November. We're going to be right before the LA Auto Show. Show up again. Showing up one time is not a movement. It was a vacation. Okay? You show up twice, you might get our attention. You show up 3 times and you've joined the movement. Bring your friends, show up, join the movement, take your place at the table, and together we will change the ratio. Thank you.